Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This will be a review on the Hot Toys 1/6 scale diecast, the Punisher War Machine armor figure. And this is all happening thanks to Ryan Rose-Clarke, a friend of mine who sent this along as a gift, an amazing gift. Honestly, I was absolutely blown away by this. I've had some incredible generosity and love come through from the community over the years. I've seen a lot of Hot Toys figures since 2007 when I started doing this, and this, spoiler alert, is one of the very best I've ever seen. So Ryan, thank you so much, man, for thinking of me and sending this along. I'll always treasure this, and it's always going to be a dominating force on any shelf that it's on. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out later on once all the videos are done. Like him actually finding a home in the collection room here, where he's going to be, who he's going to be with, how he's going to be posed. So that'll all be coming in the future. But Ryan, thank you so much, man. Honestly, I can't thank you enough. You've done an amazing thing, and I absolutely love it. Thank you, brother. So it started off with a bang, or lots of bangs. He's got all of his blasting effects here on full display. He's fully just weaponized and ready to go. Even around the shoulders, I've lifted up these and put in the magnetized little rocket launchers there. God, the only thing that doesn't have anything firing is his midsection and his legs. Like everything else is on full destruction mode. He's just such a cool piece. Now he's so heavy. He's definitely the heaviest 1/6 scale figure I've ever seen in my life. He's so heavy that I've got him on a coaster here, or two coasters, because honestly guys, if you own it you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, then believe me, this is super heavy for a 1/6 scale figure, and that's really cool, very satisfying, because it just makes it even more real. You know, it's literally like a shrunk down Punisher War Machine because he's that heavy. Absolutely amazing, man. Head sculpt, we'll get a good look at that later. It comes with some really good hands and good tools for doing everything you need to do with. Nice base, although it's not really adequate for holding up something this heavy. I've had to do a bit of a balancing act there. That sort of little groin grabber there just isn't doing it. It's not strong enough to hold him up. I wouldn't be surprised if he toppled forward in a minute, so I'm going to change the pose, but I wanted to start with something cool. But he's definitely a very heavy figure, and I may definitely have to come up with some kind of alternative means of keeping him up securely for good, you know, so there's no chance of him falling. So I'll figure that out soon, and I'll let you know when I do. Now, this looks super badass, but that's literally just turning the kind of minigun here out this way and then just literally bending his arm out straight. I haven't touched anything else from the original pose at the beginning, but that would be a hell of a presence on the shelf right there, just firing in all directions, getting it done, taking care of business. Punisher way. Man, I keep forgetting it's the Punisher. That's the cool thing about it. I've never owned a Punisher figure before, and you know, I'm a kid of the 80s, so I remember the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie, and I liked it a lot. I watched it a lot back in the day, man, back on Sky TV. It was on, you know, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but it feels like kind of like the late 80s to me from memory and that. So yeah, I've always liked the Punisher, and I've seen all the other movies, and I've liked them all, really. And there's the kind of short film as well that was on YouTube. I think it was Laundry Day or something like that. That was really good. So I've always liked the Punisher, just never owned anything of him. So that has been, you know, remedied now thanks to Ryan. There's awesome generosity here with this incredible piece. Seriously, man, I can't stress it enough. This is amazing. Review over. Get it if you can. Get it. It's absolutely insane. It's so cool, man. So cool. I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple of pics before I change this. Put them on the ground. You guys can check me out on there at Dean Knight 333. I'm also very aware of the fact I may call him Nick Castle at some point during the review because I'm a bit of a Michael Myers fan and they are quite similar names. So if I do call him Nick Castle, then forgive me. But I know it's Frank. Frankie. Yeah. Alright, more simple look, taking away the firing effects. It's just the suit standard there now. Frank Castle's gone off to do his day stuff. And Deadpool has stepped in just to give us his seal of approval. He's very impressed and would very much like to wear the suit himself. So we'll see if we can get that to happen. I don't know. We're going to have to ask Frank. And he's a bit grumpy. So we'll see if we can get that happen in DP. I wouldn't hold my breath. Not that that matters for you. Now, if you saw the True Light review outdoors in the natural light, you already know just how exquisite the details are on this thing. But it's really something you need to see in person to... funny guy. Yeah, when I'm not looking, get into the suit. That's brilliant. But when Frank gets back, he's going to... Well, he can't kill you, but he's not going to be happy, man. He's going to make your life a living hell. Get out of the man's suit. He's going to... Oh. He approves. And he also looks out of proportion to that body. But for the purposes of mirth, injecting a little humour into 2020 for you guys out there. That looks pretty cool, to be honest. I like that. Take a couple of snaps. I'll just give you a look at this before I change it, because I think it looks cool. Now, Hot Toys have probably been doing this for a while, but I haven't seen this before, I don't think, on any of my Iron Man figures from years ago by them. This is actually positioned in a way where he'll be firing his repulsor in his palm there, and it will look really convincing, the angle of the hand, because the actual joint where it connects onto the body there is in that position there, so the hand is upright, ready to fire off the repulsor. So usually in the past for me that's always been a bit tricky to get the hand looking convincing in that pose, but they've probably been doing that for years, but I haven't really seen any of these Iron Man figures in a long time by Hot Toys. This is the first one in many years. I've got the Frank Castle head on there, folks. Look at that thing, man. Look at that. That is so good. So good. Get really close up in a minute, but we'll just appreciate it from this distance for a moment. I got the head on nice and easy. Didn't have any trouble with that. The hands are nice and easy to interchange as well. The reason his hand is off there is because I was about to get him to hold the helmet here, and that's when I discovered the awesome repulsor pose hands. So let me finish off posing him and we'll come back. But he looks amazing. I might display him holding onto the helmet with the Frank Castle head on the body because it's just so good. Come on, man, just look at that. It's a friggin' awesome head sculpt. It's based on a video game, obviously, so it might have that kind of video game look, but I think it still looks really lifelike. The eyes are incredible. Love all the scars. Like the little what do you call it, like a cowlick, kind of bit of hair sticking out at the front. Amazing job on the texture of the skin. Absolutely amazing. Let me zoom in. Turn that brightness down. There you go. All those scars. Little just details of the skin. That is, like I said in the unboxing, next level shenanigans over at Hot Toys HQ. What are they up to, eh? How do they do this? How do they make it look so good? Because it does. Yeah, that's why I'm going to display him with the head on, I think, holding the helmet in his hand. It's just incorporates everything in a cool way. But yeah, back to the head sculpt. That is some next level stuff there, guys. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Alright, got a classy one here. Bit of Hamlet, eh? Holding onto his helmet instead of a skull. Contemplating what does it all mean? You know, and meanwhile, DP's contemplating as well. Well, itching his bum. Hey! Okay. Alright, now I've put him in the big 1/6 scale diorama alleyway that was made for me by Mr. Glenn Page at Cult Creations. That's Cult Creations on Instagram, Facebook, got a YouTube channel too, and he can make amazing dioramas, and as you can see, this figure belongs here. Absolutely. So looking forward to taking some pictures of him here in the diorama. You guys can check him out during this review. I'll splice them in. Most of them will go on the gram, but that looks absolutely incredible. It's a nice, big, chunky, gritty alleyway diorama. Perfect for the Punisher here. Alright, gonna start doing some height comparisons now, starting off with this other video game character by Hot Toys. This is the 1/6 scale Advanced Suit Spider-Man from the PS4 Spider-Man game. And he's welcoming Mr. Castle to the Night Vision HQ collection, giving him a gift in the form of a Spider-Man plushie, saying, "Welcome to Night Vision HQ, Mr. Castle. I hope you enjoy your stay permanently here on display, displayed with pride, I'm sure, for such an intimidating piece." I think Spider-Man's a little bit scared. A little bit. He's pretty big, to be fair, but he's big. Do you want a plushie, mate? No? All right. So it's a pretty accurate looking height difference between these two, seeing them together like this. I mean, they are both from completely different video games, but they look great together. And the scale looks good to me. So I will more than likely display Mr. Castle here with Peter Parker, the Advanced Suit Spider-Man. Some great stuff from that game on the way from Hot Toys in the future, folks. We've got the Iron Spider suit, the golden red one, and a whole bunch of others. We're still, fingers crossed, waiting for a Sam Raimi suit, which they've done in the past, but they could do it so much better now. And a whole bunch of other suits from that game. The classic suit is another one that's on a lot of people's wish list. But yeah, these guys look great together, no doubt about it. And now I've got him next to the Gotham Bat, otherwise known as the BVS Dawn of Justice Batman by Hot Toys. And he has an Unreal Customs cape on him. Not the stock one, but it is a beautiful custom cape. It's really cool seeing these two particular figures together. You would not want to be doing any crimes in this alleyway on this night, because between this version of Batman and the Punisher here, you're going to the morgue. You're not going to the hospital. That's your ass. Just not tonight. Not with these two around. These are, you got mean and meaner, and I'll leave the decision on who gets the meaner title between these two, but I think they look incredible together, man. This is really just thick, tough, mean badassery. They look insane together, man. I really like that. I'm gonna take a couple of pictures before I change it up, but there you go. It's your height comparison between these two. They're both standing in the same kind of line as each other. They look great. Alright, now here is the armored Batman beside the Punisher, and again, one hell of a pair up. I am a little bit nervous because the ankles on the armored Batman here are not the best anymore. Maybe they never were, but he does kind of want to fall forward. They're just, you know, a little bit loose. So I'm going to be careful of that and ready to leap in at any moment and save him. So they look they look really good together, man. I think we can all agree that looks incredible. They're basically the same height. Yeah, almost exactly the same height, so good to know. But this would be a hell of a display. Sometimes when you get two figures in a D-top shelf, two is pretty much the limit, I think, visually. It usually looks pretty good. Any more than that, it gets a little bit crowded. But these two beside each other on display with a nice light coming from above. Ooh, forget about it. Alright, now here he is beside the Demon, or the Batman Begins Batman, as you all know him. This thing is so stealthy. I mean, if it wasn't for that mouth plate and the eyes looking up at us all scary like, he'd just disappear into that shadowy wall. You wouldn't even see him. Pure stealth. The Beast. The Bat. But right now, Punisher is the second most badass looking figure in the diorama. I'm sorry, but you know how I feel about Batman Begins. Come on. What am I gonna... What? I ain't gonna... I'm faithful. I ain't no cheater. It's my one love right there. I mean, it's so perfect. This design for Batman. So perfect. Stealth, animalistic, intimidating, majestic, powerful, regal. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And they look cool together. There's no doubt about it, but not as cool as the Ben Affleck Batmans, I think, as far as a pair, you know, displaying like this. But that still does look really cool together. I mean, they're just two cool figures in general. That's how they look together. Shout out to my boy Kevin Lynchford for sending the Ben Choi head sculpt my way, and Derek Fagan for sending this figure in the first place, and Ryan, as you know, sent this figure my way. It's an amazing community, guys, full of really, really, really good people. Incredible people. Man, it really does blow my mind how good you guys have been to me over the years. Been doing this channel since 2007, like almost every day. Like, just stopped doing a lot of other stuff and just focused on this, solely just this, for many, many years now. And I still love it. And thanks to people like, well, it's too many to mention. So many people out there who have sent things along or just been really, really good friends. Even just someone leaving a comment, someone dropping a like on a video, or if I see someone share something on Facebook, it just means a lot. It means a lot. It's always been my pleasure, guys, and I'll keep pumping out those videos as long as my heart keeps pumping, man. I'll give you that good stuff. But just know it doesn't go unnoticed. Every little thing. Big, little, whatever the case may be, you guys are awesome. Love all of you. Anyway, let's take this guy out of here because he's kind of stealing his shine. Come on, Betsy. I ain't changing my Robocop pose for this. So, there you go. He's just standing there beside him. He's, knees are a little bit bent just for balance and stuff, but that's basically how they look together. Which is very good. I think displaying your Robocop with this Punisher War Machine wouldn't be the worst thing you could do. Alright, we got the Art Figures Dread. That's the Carl Urban Dread. Great figure there. And that's how they look side by side. He's not, well, he is considerably shorter, I guess. I was looking at the top of Dread's helmet and thinking it's not too far off, but when you look at the shoulders, there's a fair old bit of difference there, so it looks pretty realistic scale-wise to me. And that's those two, side by side. And just for fun, here is the top 1/6 scale, that's what it's called, top 1/6 scale Tony Stark head sculpt from Endgame. It's not a Hot Toys head sculpt, but it is very, very good. I recently reviewed this and another one on the channel, so just dig a little deep and you'll find that. But it didn't click on there very securely. It did click into place. It's a little bit loose, but didn't actually put on the neck attachment part that you're supposed to use. I just put it on just as it is, so I guess it's sitting a bit lower in the suit than it should be. He looks a bit like he doesn't have a neck. So, you know what, let me just go ahead and put on that extension, because it is pretty cool seeing Tony in this suit. I mean, he designed the original War Machine after all, so that's where that makes sense. Mind you, no, now that I think about it, he did not design War Machine, did he? Rhodes went off with the Mark II, stole that shit, and then had it modified and, tailored it to his liking and called it War Machine. And then later Iron Patriot. See, I know my stuff. Don't get up all in my grill. But anyway, there he is. Looks pretty cool, man. Let's go ahead and hold Tony in our hand here. Yeah, man, look at that. In the shadows. It's a really good head sculpt, man. Top did a good job. Sweet. I mean, the diorama just helps bring it all to life, really. Look at that. Now, I really do like that look. So I'm just going to show you a little bit more of it before I put it away, before I put it to bed. I took some pictures, don't worry. You can find them on the gram. That looks fantastic. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Always good to hear from you. Alright, now let me try and give you some kind of articulation demonstration here, but nothing too intense. Basically, this guy can do a lot of different stuff with his arms, thanks to some great posability in his shoulders, and the fact that these can move like so. See that? That allows you to get things in position. This kind of ball joint socket here can move up and down, and obviously every other direction. It's really, really well designed there. I mean, they've had a lot of time and a lot of different figures, to get this right, and they really have now. You saw the excellent design with these kind of repulsor firing hands where they're positioned in this upright way, so you no longer look awkward when you're trying to get him to put his hand out and fire the old repulsor. Great articulation in the head. He can look all the way down and pretty much all the way up, like really all the way up. I mean, it gets a bit unsightly, but if you were to have him in a flying coming at you pose, you can do that. So really good articulation in the head and neck. Wonderful articulation in the shoulders. Some good movement here. The ability to turn all the way around, possibly. I'm not going to push him that far, but that's about as far as you'd want him to turn. And he can do that. And he can look up and look down a little bit while he's doing it. You get some flap action here where that moves in and out. These bits move up and down. This bit can move as well when you're messing around with the legs to allow for more movement. You can probably bust out the old superhero landing pose with this guy. I was going back over the blogger pictures to see if I could find a picture of him in the superhero landing pose. I didn't actually see it, but I'm sure he could, on some level. And the really satisfying thing, if you listen to this, like that really is sturdy. That's what you want, man. That is really sturdy. He's so heavy. Great articulation in his feet. I did hear, as I mentioned in the unboxing, someone mentioned in a review that there was no pivot, but there's actually quite a bit of pivot there, and toe articulation. Foot can move forwards and backwards, so the whole range of movement there, all these little bits are separate from each other, so they all move and allow for more movement. It's really quite a poseable figure considering how big and heavy he is. Very impressed. Just to kind of illustrate that again with this flap section here, moves so that you can get the leg out nice and far. I think that's about as much as you'd want to do. I mean, it feels like it will go more, but it's starting to press up against this, and I think that's about its limit. But you can get some fantastic movement out of him, and then that just pushes down again like so, and then these flaps move down here and make everything look all seamless again when he's standing upright. Very well designed. Let me hit it from the back. See what's going on back here. Yep, it's just a chunky piece, man. Even holding it like this with both hands, just that weight, I'm starting to feel it. I need to get back to exercising again, folks. Can't even hold a damn War Machine figure. And there are those repulsor firing hands in action, and looks perfectly natural. Doesn't look awkward at all, apart from maybe the way I've got his legs positioned, but don't worry about that. He's kind of just firing both repulsors straight at our face, and that's our fault for getting in his. So there you go. Looks awesome, man. It really does look good. Holding up the palms, the red eyes glowing in the night. So I love those hands. They are very cool. I'll just back up a little bit, let you get a better look at a pose with both the repulsor hands displayed. Kind of looks like he's surrendering, but I very much doubt that's the case. Look at that. That looks friggin' sick. It looks very cool. And that's the great thing about those hands with the posable fingers, because you can throw up the horns just like he's doing here. He's like, get some. Yep. All kinds of possibilities. You could have him doing a thumbs up if you were so inclined, or maybe even a cheeky little raise of a rigid digit. There we go. That's what I think of the system. Huh? I do very much like these hands as well. This is molded in this kind of particular pose, so you can't move those fingers. But these hands are obviously for where this section lifts up. And he has even more little projectile thingies that you can fire at people. So he's really, he ain't messing around. He's ready for business. I have removed the little rockets that you can put on there, like these. And you just remove them. And there's a little flappy thing here that just clips right into place, just in case you want a slightly more slimmer look on the arms. But I like to have him fully decked out with all of his cannons and projectiles all on display, like the way you can lift up this little flap here, and with magnets these attach, so you can even have those there as well, like I did at the beginning of the review. So you get a nice variation of different options for how battle ready you want him to look. Guys, I'm going to wrap up the review. I'm going to give this a full score, 10 out of 10. It's absolutely essential if you are into the Marvel stuff by Hot Toys. I can imagine some people saying because it's from a video game that they're not too fussed about it, and that's their choice. This is undoubtedly one of the very best Hot Toys figures I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, it's incredible. Yeah, I honestly can't praise it enough. It is fantastic, very satisfying to look at and pose. And you know, if you're thinking about getting it, if you're on the fence, if you take my word for anything, I say absolutely get this and try to get it soon before it gets really expensive, if that happens. But I think it would. I don't see any reason why this is not going to become quite sought after as the years roll by. It's just too badass not to, man. Come on, War Machine and Frank Castle Punisher mixed together. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And Ryan, you did a beautiful thing, man. Thank you so much, man. I hope you've enjoyed these videos. I'm not done yet. I'll be bringing you more videos, and you know this guy's always going to be turning up on the channel. You know how I do it. I get the review and the unboxings and all that stuff done, and then I'll come back to them later on and revisit them and do post sessions and comparisons and all that good stuff. So it's definitely not the last you've seen of this guy on the channel. If you did enjoy the review, please drop a like on it, and if you can say thanks to Ryan in the comment section for being so amazing and sending this my way, then that would mean a lot too. Alright guys, it's been great fun reviewing this. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook at DKnight333. Lots of pictures and videos going up on the gram. Doing the channel full time, so any help would be appreciated over on Patreon. $1 a month will get it done. And I'll stick your name at the end of every video, just like the credits of a movie. Thank you again, Ryan, man. This is absolutely incredible. I really, really love this, and I always will. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.